Lab-grown meat take effect in Tennessee next month.
Lawmakers passed a bill to regulate selling and marketing for alternative protein. We take a closer look at what that bill entails.
Imagine a world where what once sounded impossible is slowly becoming real. From machines that smell your virtual surroundings to living tissues that grow like magic in labs, these 15 emerging technologies could rewrite the future as we know it. One of them is already making satellites dance into orbit without rockets.
America's new race into space with spin launch. The problem with getting things into orbit has always been the rocket equation. That is, the vast majority of what it takes to get a rocket beyond our atmosphere is fuel.
Yes, seriously. Another might let you feel a handshake across continents. Curious how close we are to these breakthroughs, and which one might change everything first. Let's dive in. Number 15. Upside Foods cultured meat. Cells without traditional farming. Instead of raising and slaughtering animals, they take a small sample of cells and place them into bioreactors, feeding them nutrients so they can grow into beef, chicken, or pork. The end product is real meat at the cellular level, just produced in a much more sustainable and ethical way. The process requires fewer resources like water and land, and doesn't involve antibiotics or animal cruelty. Cultured meat is already approved by the US FDA for commercial sale, so it's not some far-off sci-fi idea. It's already starting to appear on menus in select restaurants. This could be a serious game-changer for the food industry. Livestock is a big source of greenhouse gas emissions, so replacing traditional meat with cultured meat might reduce our overall carbon footprint. Plus, it could offer a safer food source that's less prone to contamination, like E. coli. Will this scale up to mainstream consumption and affordable prices soon? That's the big question, but companies like Upside Foods seem committed to making it happen. If you're already shocked by this one, stick around. The next will leave you speechless. Number 14. Crispr Gene Editing Kit. Crispr is a revolutionary gene editing technology that allows scientists to make precise changes to DNA. It works like molecular scissors, cutting the genetic code at a specific spot and allowing researchers to remove, add, or modify DNA sequences. Initially derived from a natural defense mechanism bacteria use against viruses, Crispr has been adapted into a powerful, easy-to-use gene editing toolkit. Labs around the world now use Crispr to target genetic diseases like sickle cell anemia, cystic fibrosis, and even some cancers. The work of researchers like Jennifer Doudna and Emmanuelle Charpentier earned them a Nobel Prize, showing just how big a breakthrough this is. The most exciting part, Crispr is making gene therapy much more accessible. Instead of relying on years of trial and error, this kit simplifies the process, potentially paving the way for more affordable treatments. Some researchers are even wondering if future versions could allow safe, everyday gene editing at home, though questions of ethics and safety will be huge hurdles. Will Crispr eventually help us edit out diseases before birth? That's where the rumors and debates heat up. Number 13. Mojo Vision AR Contact Lens. Mojo Vision is working on one of the most futuristic wearables yet, an augmented reality contact lens. Unlike regular contacts, this tiny device contains a microdisplay, wireless chip, and eye-tracking sensors that can project information directly into your field of view. The idea is to give you real-time updates like messages, maps, or fitness stats without pulling out a phone. Because it's hands-free and doesn't require any other hardware, it could feel like a true invisible computer you wear on your eye. Mojo Vision's prototypes have already been tested in limited settings, though they're not on the market for consumers yet. This raises big questions about the future of AR. Will people actually wear contact lenses that beam data into their eyes? The company claims they'll help athletes, healthcare workers, or anyone who needs hands-free data, but privacy and safety concerns will definitely come up. Will this tech stay niche for specialized industries, or will it go mainstream like smart glasses once they hit stores? Time will tell, but one thing's certain, this kind of tech could make traditional screens look outdated. Number 12. Basilisk self-healing concrete. Basilisk self-healing concrete is a new material that could make cracks and crumbling roads a thing of the past. Developed by a Dutch biotech company, this concrete contains special bacteria and nutrients that stay dormant until cracks appear and water enters. When that happens, the bacteria wake up and produce limestone, sealing up the crack and restoring the concrete to its original strength. Unlike traditional concrete, which often requires costly repairs and replacements, self-healing concrete fixes itself before cracks grow too large. This tech could be a game changer for infrastructure, especially as cities look for more sustainable solutions. Concrete is one of the most carbon-intensive materials, so extending its lifespan could cut emissions significantly. Bridges, tunnels, and roads might last decades longer with minimal maintenance. Could this mean the end of potholes as we know them? Some engineers believe it might, especially as companies test larger-scale projects. It's early days, but the future of construction looks like it might repair itself, literally. Number 11. Spin Launch Kinetic Launcher. Spin Launch is rewriting the rules in launching satellites into space. Rather than launching satellites using rockets fired by tons of propellant, Spin Launch uses a mammoth centrifuge inside a vacuum chamber that spins payloads at extreme speeds and releases them into the atmosphere. The big idea here would be to reduce costs pertaining to rocket fuel and, in the process, dramatically reduce the costs and emissions of conventional launches. Some early tests have already shown they can fire objects high up with precision, and the company hopes to develop toward putting small satellites into orbit with the technology. This will provide improved access to space by small companies and researchers. Is there a time in the future when spin launch will render rockets now? Detractors argue about whether payloads could survive the dizzying G-forces of such speeds, while some question the practicality of attaining orbital velocity this way. Nevertheless, it's an ambitious experiment that has caught the attention of the aerospace industry. The kinetic approach may end up being a stepping stone to sustainable, low-cost access to space if it succeeds. Number 10. Graphene cooling film. Graphene cooling film is an ultra-thin material that could help manage heat in our phones, laptops, and even electric cars. Graphene is just a single layer of carbon atoms arranged in a lattice, making it one of the best heat conductors ever discovered. Unlike bulky fans or heat sinks, graphene cooling film is lightweight, flexible, and extremely efficient at drawing heat away from chips and batteries. Tech companies like Huawei and Ford have already begun testing graphene in some of their devices to improve cooling and boost performance. The real appeal is that as devices grow more powerful, overheating becomes a serious problem. Graphene film could help everything from smartphones to wearables run cooler without adding size or weight. Some rumors suggest it might eventually enable phones that never overheat, no matter what app you're running. Could this material even replace traditional cooling methods entirely? It's still early, and mass adoption depends on scaling up production, but graphene cooling film looks like a promising, practical innovation that might change the way we design tech. Number 9. Floating Dairy Farm, Netherlands. The floating dairy farm in Rotterdam is an innovative, fully self-sufficient farm built on water. It holds around 40 cows and is designed to produce fresh milk right in the middle of the city, cutting down on long-distance transport. Powered by solar panels and using rainwater collection, the farm is also highly sustainable. Robotic milking machines handle most of the labor, while AI-powered sensors monitor each cow's health and well-being. Even the food the cows eat is sourced locally. Recycled food waste and grass clippings from nearby parks help make this farm a true circular system. This project was developed to tackle two big challenges: shrinking farmland and rising sea levels. By floating, the farm adapts to changes in water level and frees up urban land for other purposes. Some wonder if this kind of floating farm could scale up, Can we have entire networks of food production on water one day? Will this kind of setup help cities achieve greater food security and sustainability? It's too early to say, but it's an intriguing idea that could inspire future farming solutions. Number 8. mRNA cancer vaccines. It is believed that mRNA vaccines against cancer will alter the way we treat cancer forever. They rely on the concept behind the successful development of COVID-19 mRNA shots. Similar new personalized vaccines would attack cancer cells by activating the immune system to recognize and destroy them. The method begins with collecting a tumor sample from doctors, which is decoded genetically and designed based on that information to a specific vaccine for you. Early-stage clinical trials have concentrated on melanoma and lung cancers, which have shown exciting responses in terms of some tumors shrinking and some patients entering remission. Precision and speed make these so significant. Traditional cancer treatments, such as chemotherapy and radiation, usually damage healthy cells, while cancer mRNA therapies only deliver the medication to itself. Will this result in kinder, more effective anti-cancer approaches with fewer side effects? Some researchers even ask if perhaps one day we will vaccinate against cancers so the tumors never have a chance of growing. Still early and needing a ton of research, but mRNA cancer treatments may be the most promising breakthrough in cancer therapies we have seen yet. Number 7. Neurolink brain implant. Neurolink is one of the most talked about brain-computer interface projects in the world. Backed by Elon Musk, it involves a tiny chip implanted in the brain that can read and send neural signals. The goal is to help people control devices like computers or robotic arms just by thinking. Early demonstrations showed monkeys playing simple video games using the chip alone, and human trials have also begun. Neuralink's tech could one day help people with paralysis regain mobility or improve communication for those who cannot speak. But this technology also raises big questions. What happens when our thoughts can control machines directly? And who gets access to that kind of power? Could people one day use this kind of chip to enhance their memory or connect directly to the internet? Right now, Neuralink is focused on medical uses, but some rumors suggest Elon Musk may have even bigger plans. The company still faces serious safety and privacy hurdles, so widespread use might take years. Even so, it's one of the most ambitious projects of its kind so far. Strap your seatbelts, because we're about to take off into something even wilder. Number 6. Xenotransplant breakthrough. Xenotransplantation, using genetically modified pig organs for human transplants, could one day help tackle the severe shortage of donor organs. Researchers, including teams at the University of Maryland, have already tested pig heart transplants in critically ill patients, with one patient surviving 2 months after the surgery. To reduce rejection, scientists use gene editing tools like Crispr to remove pig-specific genes that cause immune reactions and add human-friendly genes instead. Early trials show promising progress, and several biotech companies are racing to make this process safer and more reliable. Still, this raises serious questions. How long can genetically edited pig organs last inside a human body? And will patients need lifelong immunosuppressants to keep them working? Some critics worry about the risk of new infections, and there are ethical debates over using animals for this purpose. But if these hurdles can be overcome, xenotransplants could eventually mean no more long transplant waiting lists, a truly life-saving advancement. Will this tech scale up enough to meet demand? The next few years could reveal some big answers. Number 5. EPFL brain-controlled robot arm. The EPFL researchers in Switzerland have arrived on a brain-controlled robotic arm that could help restore independence to one with mobility impairments. Unlike typical robotic arms that use joysticks or buttons, this arm is guided telepathically. The user wears a non-invasive EEG cap, which enables the computer to detect weak electrical signals emitted by the brain. The signals are then interpreted by the AI system into commands that execute movements like, for instance, reaching for grasping or rotating the arm. The biggest advantage is that it requires no surgery, which is all the better because of safety and ease of implementation. There are challenges ahead for this tech to be readily accepted in the market. Training the system to recognize the brain patterns of each individual is a time-consuming task. Some tests also show that distraction or noise in the brain would interfere with the performance of the setup. However, the team at EPFL is refining the accuracy with a goal of inducing more fluid, intuitive control. Could this type of technology replace more invasive options, such as implanted chips? It is too early to tell, but the possibility is there to reclaim independence for millions. Number 4. Columbia University 3D Food Printer. Columbia University researchers have developed a 3D food printer that can not only print meals layer by layer, but also cook them as it works. Unlike traditional printers that just shape materials, this system uses food inks, like pureed vegetables, meat pastes, and grains, and applies precisely targeted lasers to heat and cook each layer. The result is a customized, edible dish with control over ingredients, nutrition, and taste. Early tests have printed foods like 7-layer lasagna and protein-enriched pancakes, showing that the printer can produce meals that look and taste close to what you'd make in a kitchen. This could change the future of food preparation. Imagine printing a meal tailored to your exact diet, with vitamins or protein boosts built in. Some researchers wonder if we might one day have personal food printers at home, letting people design meals on a computer and hit print. Could this reduce food waste by only using what you need? That's one big promise. Right now, the tech is still in labs and not in restaurants or home kitchens, but the idea of pushing a button and printing dinner may not be as far off as it sounds. Number 3. CUKKIN for remote touch. Researchers at City University of Hong Kong have developed an electronic skin called CUKKIN that allows people to feel touch across distances. This ultra-thin, stretchable material contains sensors and actuators that mimic the way real skin senses pressure and transmits that information wirelessly. It can be worn like a second skin on hands or fingers and uses subtle vibrations to recreate the sensation of touch on the receiving end. Early prototypes have already been tested successfully, making it possible to hold hands or even feel a handshake without being in the same room. The technology is already sparking interest in areas like remote healthcare, where doctors might feel a patient's pulse without being physically present. Others wonder if it could change long-distance relationships by allowing people to share hugs or other forms of contact virtually. There are still questions about comfort and privacy. Could someone tap you without permission? Some researchers even ask if this tech could one day make video chats feel as real as being face-to-face. It's still in its early stages, but the possibilities seem huge. Number 2. VR smell device. Researchers at City University of Hong Kong are working on a virtual reality smell device that could change how we experience the digital world. Unlike traditional VR, which only engages sight and sound, this device contains tiny scent cartridges that heat up to release smells that match what's happening in your virtual environment. Whether you're walking through a pine forest, standing on a beach, or cooking in a kitchen, the headset can produce subtle odors like pine, ocean air, or freshly baked bread. Early prototypes fit snugly under a VR headset and react in real time as you move through different virtual spaces. The big question is whether this will move VR one step closer to full immersion. Researchers say smell is directly tied to memory and emotion, so this tech could make VR experiences feel much more realistic. Some people wonder if the tech could even help with VR therapy for conditions like anxiety or PTSD by creating comforting scentscapes. On the other hand, there are safety questions too. Will these devices emit smells too strong for some people? Or might they need regular cartridge replacements? Right now, it's all still in early testing, but VR that you can see, hear, and smell could make today's games and simulations feel like a completely different world. Keep watching, because our number 1 pick will blow your mind and make you see the world differently. Number 1. Quantum computing. Google Sycamore. quantum computing could completely change the way we solve complex problems. Unlike traditional computers that process information in bits, either 0 or 1, quantum computers use qubits, which can exist in multiple states at the same time. This allows them to tackle calculations that would take even supercomputers millions of years to solve. Google's Sycamore chip, for example, achieved quantum supremacy in 2019 by completing a task in 200 seconds that would have taken a classical supercomputer thousands of years. Since then, the tech world has been racing to see what quantum machines might achieve next. But how close are we to seeing real-world applications? Researchers believe quantum computers could help with things like substance discovery, materials science, cryptography, and even climate modeling. Still, there are serious hurdles. Quantum computers need to stay incredibly cold and stable to work properly. Some skeptics wonder whether they'll ever scale up to practical machines outside labs. Could companies like Google or IBM unlock truly transformative breakthroughs? Or will this tech stay mostly experimental? Right now, it's too early to say for sure, but if they succeed, the impact could be massive. The race is on, and big investments are pouring in. Everyone wants to be first to crack the quantum code. And with each small advance, the promise feels a little more real. For now, it's a high-stakes waiting game between theory and breakthrough. And that's it. 15 emerging technologies that could truly change our world forever. Which one are you most excited about? Drop a comment and let us know. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more future-focused videos, and check out the next one popping up on your screen right now. See you in the next video.